All right, so this is our presentation for organizational design simulation.
Hi guys, my name is Marc Cesar. For how do the structural levers in organizational design change during the simulation? I would say to start off with, there wasn't really much of a structure. It was more of an informal type of company where there wasn't really many rules or any hierarchy or just anybody leading in general. So I personally ended up changing that to a more of a formal company where it had uh, specific departments in each category in each area, where like each department would have specific descriptions and roles, so everybody would personally know what's expected of them. That I ended up choosing number four, which is more closer to the narrow side instead of the wide, because as a manager, you're supposed to oversee everything. And with how fast the company's growing, I don't think having it at two would be the smartest decision. And then if I were to put it at eight, I feel like that would be way worse because obviously it had been a lot of it had been a lot of subordinates and a lot of other managers, and I feel like a bunch of the information would eventually get lost with how extensive and how large the group is.
So, how are the organizational KPIs influenced by structural decisions? Well, during the simulation, when we made that change to splitting by customer type, we noticed a lot of things. For one, it impact greatly on the organizational's performance and effectiveness. Looking through our employee engagement, we saw that our job satisfaction was at an all-time low, being at a 4 out of 10. The collaboration we hoped to achieve was also at a low. Um, Looking at voluntary turnover from the slide, that's what stuck out the most, as 10% of our workforce from the 2020 period to 2026 willingly decided to leave our organization. That just shows how bad of the job satisfaction we had as a company as a whole. Looking through our finances, it also took a hit, as our revenue wasn't what we wanted it to be, and the market share was only at 4%, which is not ideal as well. Our stakeholders also inflected, as the investor relationships was at a 2 out of 10, and our net promoter score was at a 5 out of 10. So all of these things we have learned that changing through this new organizational structure greatly affected the finances of our business, the job satisfaction of our business, and even the customer satisfaction as well. So hopefully we can do better in the future. But it was just a good experience from this simulation.
For which of your results most surprised you the most and why? I would definitely say how much we ended up losing out in profits. So when I made the decision to move to more of a formal type of company and putting in specific departments, everything ended up going really well. Everything went super high. Besides how the customers felt, the customers weren't really that happy. So I ended up making the executive decision to switch from specific departments to more of like a packaging type of the deal where it would be luxury travel, standard travel, and premium travel, and that ended up making the customers happy. But long term wise, it ended up hurting the company because we couldn't keep up with like demand. So I then switched it back again to our the traditional departments, and then when I did that, I ended up losing out on money, which is in the sense it says it feels like you're trying to make all customers happy with the same solution. The world is a big place, and how can one company be all the things to everyone? Which, in the scheme of things, makes a lot more sense because regardless of what path I choose, someone's going to be happy and somebody else isn't. So I have to choose the wisest decision when it comes to the company long term wise. For would you like to work in such a company? If it was the way I set it up, then yes. If not, I probably would say no. Because originally the way it was set up, like I said, there wasn't really anything really holding it down. There wasn't really no foundation. There was no structure. So for honestly, for somebody to succeed in like that specific business model, I'd probably just say you just have to like have straight tunnel vision and then just literally go out and do what you have to do. But in the sense of, do I think it's more difficult? or easier than a formal business? I'd probably say no. I'd probably say it's way more difficult. With formal, obviously, there's like, you know what you're getting with a formal business. There's rules behind it. Like, there shouldn't be no confusion. Like, that's one of the good things about it, because that gets cleared up once you work for a formal business. Uh, Informal, on the other hand, there's you have to be ready for the unexpected. Honestly.
So would I like to work in such a company? So through the results you have seen from round one to round three, uh, sadly, I would have not liked to work in such a company. Um, it shows that the job satisfaction was down for a reason. Even though the productivity was high, the customer satisfaction was low. So there was a lot of influences in that. What would it take to succeed there? Um, being able to handle the stress, working in such a high expectation with limited resources, you need to be able to overcome the overburden and the challenges in meeting diverse customer needs in this organization. To be able to actually find a clear organizational goal in this company as well, um, which would help you strive to be better in there. Would working there be easier or harder than it would be to work in a formal company? It would be harder to work there in a formal company, as a formal company has stability, clarity, and a structured career path where you can be able to excel in different environments, and that works with your workflow, and has predictable processes as well. So
For what were the significant insights and lessons you derived from the simulation concerning organizational design? I would say what I took from it was basically not every design or structure is going to fit every single company. So, not every company is the same when it comes to how their company should be ran, or when it comes to implementing a specific structure or model. That I would say, trust your gut, honestly. So, like I said, realistically, with switching your model to basically fit consumers' needs, like, genuinely, not everyone's going to be happy with certain decisions that you make. So, obviously, just choose the best decision that would end up uh, scaling and helping your business move forward long term wise.
some what are the significant insights and lessons I've derived from the simulation as a whole? Even regarding organizational design, one of the things I've learned was that KPIs are greatly influences by the structural design. Just that one change we made through that time period caused so many influences in our finances, um, our job satisfaction, and customer satisfaction as well. Um, just shows that you have to making that decision. Uh, you have to make the decision with more clarity, and to understand the different outcomes that I can have. We personally didn't know it was going to be this way, but we learned from this mistake. Also, being able to prioritize our alignment in this organization. What is the structure of the company goals? What do the customers need, and the market realities as well? You know, consider the different risk, and be able to use different data to understand what may have gone good and what may have gone bad as well. So, what are the
All
significant
right,
insights
and
and lessons
that
I've
is our
derived from
presentation.
the
Thank you.
simulation?